Okay, so we are finding the perimeter and the area of the rectangle. So the first thing that we've got to do is we've got to find the distance of all the different sides. Okay, so I would first label my points so I don't get them mixed up. So this point right here is 1, 1, 2, 3, 4. And I'm going to label that A. You could have labeled it something else. 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. So that's 3, 6. I'm going to label that guy B. This is 1, 2, 3, 4, 1. That's going to be C. Okay, and this one right here is 5, 6, 1, 2, 3, 6, 3. And that's going to be D. All right, so now we've got to find the distance between these. You cannot count between them because they're on the diagonal. Okay, so from A to B, we're going to use the distance formula. The distance formula, just a reminder, is x squared, or x sub 2 minus x sub 1 squared plus y sub 2 minus y sub 1 squared. Okay, so we're going to plug in after we label these. So you decide which one is x1, y1, and which one is x2, y2. You're going to plug that in, and that's going to give me 3 minus 1 squared plus 6 minus 4 squared. So I'm going to go into Desmos, and I'm going to type that in. So square root of 3 minus 1 squared plus 6 minus 4 squared. Okay, so I get 2.83. You're going to run it around to 2 decimal places because it is going to change your answers otherwise. Okay, we're then going to do the same thing, but we're going to do it for BD. And we're going to keep this x2, y2, and we're going to take this one and make it x1, y1. So we're going to plug in, and that's going to give me 3 minus 6 squared plus 6 minus 3 squared. And again, we're going to plug that in. So square root of 3 minus 6 squared plus, there we go, 6 minus 3 squared. So this is going to be 4.24. All right, now, we know that this is a rectangle. However, you have to sometimes prove that it is a rectangle, which means that you have to find the distance of these other two sides. Okay. Now, we're not going to sit here and calculate it. I'm telling you right now that this is going to be a rectangle. So that means that this side is 2.83. This side is 2.83. This side is 4.24. And this side is 4.24. So I'm going to add 2.83 plus 2.83 plus 4.24 plus 4.24. And when I type that into my calculator, I get 14.14. Okay, good. It's still gonna, it's gonna be like 2 root, you did 2 root 2 and 3 root 2. Were those the numbers? Okay, so you should have gotten 10 root 2. Yep. What you're going to do, this is a rectangle. So with a rectangle, you've got length times width. That means you're going to do 2.83 times 4.24. Okay, so 2.83 times 4.24. And that's going to give us roughly 12 or 11.99. Okay, to AB. So from A to B, we're going to look at this side only. Yeah. Okay, so let's go ahead and identify what those points are. So for A, where is this located? Like, what's the point? -2, 3. Got to pay attention to those negatives. What about B? -4, -1, right? What's up? No, the X's are always first, then the Y's. Remember, we move left, right first. So let's say we start at 0, 0. We go to the left 2, up 3. So -2, 3. Yeah? Okay. Now, you need to label these as x1, y1, and x2, y2. So it doesn't matter which point you do, but I always go left to right just to make it easy on myself. x1, y1, x2, y2. Everybody see what I did there? Okay, now we're going to plug in to that distance formula. Cool. So we're going to take these numbers and literally substitute this junk in. Okay, so for my visual people, this is going to be rough. Okay, so what is my x2 from these 2 points? -2. -2. Okay, so I'm going to write -2 in here. Which one is my x1? Lots of clicking. Okay. -4. But I see that there's 2 negatives right here. So that's going to make that a positive. Everybody see where that went? Okay. Now we're going to take our y2. What's our y2? Okay. So we're going to plug 3 in. And then what's our y1? -1. So, Fernando, what were you saying? It's now going to be positive because there's a negative. Gucci? Now, when you plug all this in to your calculator, you're going to get square root of 20. Yeah? You're going to get the square root of 20. Or if you put it in decimal form, that's fine. It's still going to give you 4.47. Does everybody see where I got that from?
Oh, wait.
Yep.
You have to do it.
If you switched them, if you put -2, 3 as x1, y1, you should still get the same answer. It doesn't matter. Can you try solving for, let's do A to C. Go ahead and do A to C. You're finding this side, okay? You'll get the same answer, okay? So you're plugging that in. I'm going to go ahead and write it out so that you can check your work. You're going to get 2 square root of 13. You might have gotten square root of 52. That's okay. You can put this in decimal form as well. Okay, that's fine too. When you plug it in, 2 square root of 13, that's going to give me 7.21. So if you like decimals, that's fine. 7.21. All right, now, fun time. This is great right here. This bottom one is on the horizontal line. So you can literally just count this guy and it's going to give you 8. You don't have to do the distance formula. If you did the distance formula, it's still going to get 8. Okay. Now perimeter, we're going to add up all that sides. So we're going to say 8 plus that 7.2, 1 plus that 4.47. And when you type that in, oh, come on. And you type all that in, you're going to get 19.68. And we'll pick it up from there. Okay, so for area of the triangle, you got 1/2 base times height. You got to know this formula. Now, here's the problem. Is this a right angle triangle? No, why? There's no 90 degrees, but this one kind of looks like it. We can check using the Pythagorean theorem, but I'm not going to ask you to do that. I'm going to tell you right now, not a 90-degree angle. So this is going to be our base, which is 8. But our height is something that we're going to say, we're going to drop the perpendicular. That's from here to here. Okay. That has a distance of 4. So you're going to do 1/2 times your base, which we found was 8, times your height, which is 4. When you do that, you're going to get 16. Now, on your mastery check, it's going to be very clear which one's the base, which one's the height. So you don't have to super worry about this. So let's go ahead and look at number 11, because we're going to work through that triangle situation on number 11. So go to number 11. This is the last one we're going to do, and then we're going to take our mastery check. So I would try this one. Okay. On number 11, it's just asking you for the triangle. Just asking you for this triangle. You're finding the perimeter, and then you're finding the area. This is like your mastery check. Okay, so go ahead and take a second. Go ahead and try it. A little bit of guidance. This right here, 2, 3, has a side of 3. This right here is a side of 4. You don't even have to use a distance formula for those two. And then all you got to do is use the distance formula for this one. Yes. 3 and 4 is the length. 3 for this length, 4 for that length. And then, no, this is perimeter. We're going to add them up. Yep. So you've got to use the distance for this one. And then you add them all up. Yep. So find the distance of the hypotenuse, and then you're going to add up all those numbers. Okay, whatever. All right. So you should have gotten 5 for the side length. Yes, no, maybe. Yeah. Okay. Now perimeter is going to be 3 plus 4 plus 5, which is that's going to give me 12. And your area is going to be 1/2 base times height. So 1/2 times, which one's your base? 3 times your height. Okay. When you multiply those together, you're going to get 6. Questions? Go ahead. This is like your mastery check. This one. This one. So go ahead. How did you get height for this one?
Like draw a line in the middle.
Yep. It's called like dropping the perpendicular. Yes. However, your mastery check is going to be like this guy. Yep. If this was facing like this, let's say I drew your triangle like this instead. Okay. This is now your base. This is your height. Does that make sense? Questions?
How would we find the solution?
You would just count. Yep. And then you find the distance on this one. What? What does that mean? Say it again. Would you have a negative length? Would you have a negative length? No, I can't have negative 12 feet, right? So it doesn't matter if it's up or down. You just count the distance. So you could go 1, 2, 3, 4, or you could go 1, 2, 3, 4. Sorry, Fernando. My bad.